All right, we started.
All right, hello.
Hello, George. Welcome to episode one.
Clear the camera.
So you were kind of wondering about the format and like the idea and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. We started doing a show like 2 years ago. Remember?
hmm
And we kind of stopped, but now you're starting up a new show. And so how's it? How's it gonna be? Is it like an interview format? What do you have in mind?
So the idea is I want to get any and everybody. I don't care who it is. I don't care what the reason. If they have something they just want to promote. If I have something I want to learn. If I just want to have a fun conversation. Like you'll be on here a bunch of times, I'm sure. But so for me, I want to build my social communication skills because the only idea I've really ever had of it is just be abrasive when I was younger.
Right.
So now I'm trying to just learn to like calmly do it, especially being in a new city, in a new state. It's going to be beneficial. But I like the idea of learning different stories, different perspectives, different just anything from anybody. So it's it's my way of kind of selfishly learning while also selfishly building those skills while trying to share them if anybody cares at all. But if anybody doesn't, then it doesn't matter because it's a little bit selfish.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a nice way to kind of document things, right? You'll have it for yourself and for your posterity.
Exactly.
All your dogs, all your seven pugs, someone to watch on TV. But you
Yes.
didn't have that. You have what? You only have Gator, right? And then you have two cats.
Yeah, just the three of us for now. But I know Nia's itching for like a black pug, so she has a friend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she's always wanted a pug, and she's wondered why, like, why not a different colored one? I'm just like, I mean, this one, this color, what is it, the fawn or something like that, the tan? They're just the best
Yeah.
looking.
Yeah, that's a classic pug look, right? How long have you had Gator now?
She's 6.5. I actually told Nia she was 5.5 the other day, but she's 6.5.
Oh yeah. And does she still have pups? Or you guys fixed her?
Now she's totally done for. Like,
Yeah. Well, now with the one leg gone, it'd
yeah,
be even harder.
with her
Yeah.
being the single-legged idiot now, but I can just see her like moving around in her sleep. I need to stop looking over at her. Um,
Yeah.
but anyway, you and I have known each other since middle school, 6th grade. Uh,
Yeah.
One of the things that I think about with social skills building is one of the first things I always think about is you just approaching me in PE on like the first day, and you're just like, "Hey, what's up?" So like,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it was Hyde Park Middle School. This was what 2005, September 2005.
Was it?
Yeah, because we graduated in 2013. Like
I
we
think it
were.
was '06.
I think you might be right. Because I just remember that whatever year it was, like in 2006, we were in sixth grade. In 2005, we were in fifth grade.
Yeah,
Like
that's
when it
true.
became the year it became was the year like we finished that year of school. Because yeah, we started first grade in 2000. Dude, this was, geez, what, 22 years ago? Um,
Forever ago.
but yeah, I met Dylan. I met you, PE class, right? Mr. Milky's PE class at Hyde Park Middle School in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I actually don't remember much. I do remember talking to you. I remember looking at you, being like, "Oh, this kid's cool. You're wearing a cool shirt." I don't remember what the shirt was, but let me tell everybody here: Dylan always had some cool shirts, and it was kind of like during the beginning of. Oh no way, you have it?
Oh yeah, this yearbook. Keep going. I'm gonna see what you wrote in my yearbook.
Is that from sixth grade?
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh wow, I haven't seen that yearbook in forever, dude. So I came up to Dylan. I remember he always had some cool shirts on, and this was like 2005, 2006. This is when it was like starting to get cool, like the emo scene. There was a lot of Fallout Boy being played on my
Don't you diss
iPod. I
Fall
remember
Out
that.
Boy?
Huh?
Don't you diss Fall Out Boy? I still love them.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not saying I'm. But I'm. Do you remember like what Fallout Boy looked like in 2005?
Uh, yeah,
It
my
was
heroes.
yeah. They
Uh,
kind of look like Dylan.
so real quick, you either wrote nothing at all, or if this is your handwriting up here in the top, well, I shouldn't show all that because there's a lot
Suck
of
my.
there's some other profanities in there that shouldn't probably be
Yeah.
shown specifically, but you either wrote nothing or hope your summer is long or is like toilet paper, long and useful.
Hmm. Yeah, that might have been me. It might have been one of my core. If I saw the handwriting, I could tell you. No, that's not me.
Oh, you didn't even write in my
I think I
yearbook.
wrote it. Yeah, I didn't. I didn't. That's ugly handwriting. I had some decent handwriting in middle school. Not the best, but it wasn't like horrible. For some reason, most boys in sixth grade have very bad handwriting, like
Terrible.
bad handwriting. My
Most
mom was.
guys, their whole life have terrible handwriting.
Yeah, that's true. How how's your handwriting? I started writing in all caps at the start of high school.
So
I like all caps.
I actually just got a commonplace notebook that um, I highly recommend. Actually, I've been rereading a series of unfortunate events. I'm on halfway through book 12 right now. It's 13 books. And they talk about commonplace notebooks, and I really enjoy the concept of having a place to have all your information stored. So not necessarily a journal, but
Uh,
um, so like I'll show you this page. I've been compiling like lists of my favorite movies by genre.
oh, okay.
So this is like the psychological thrillers page. So here's my handwriting.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
It's a
yeah. It
little
looks like.
it's a little messy, but I also was holding the notebook in my hand while writing.
Oh, you didn't sit down on the table. You
No,
freak.
yeah, I was writing it while pacing back and forth this morning actually, but my handwriting's not that nice. It's tiny. I have small handwriting.
Yeah, that's right. You sent me a note when you sent me that package. It's like yeah, it's like you don't use the whole. And I'm sure there's some psychologists out there who will analyze your handwriting and let us know why you write so small and like kind of scrunched together. Looks like you kind of scrunched your letters together. Might be some deep psychological issues that you have. But no, I write big.
Or
I
that's
write big.
just it. The smaller I write, the nicer it looks.
But yeah, that might be true. Yeah, it might be purely aesthetic. But yeah, yeah. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, that's how we
Hyde
met.
Park.
What you remember more of how we met though in sixth grade? I think we went over it once,
Yeah, it
but
was in the lunchroom during PE, like you were saying.
yeah.
The first day before we got like our PE uniforms, we were all sitting at the tables and everything, kind of getting the rundown of how it's gonna go. And I don't remember. There was like a gap of time where nobody was doing anything and Mr. Milky wasn't in the room, and you just kind of turned around and like poked at my table, and you're like, "Hey, what's up?" And I think you asked me to come sit by you, and then I something like that.
we did we have? Did you know Diego Hahamian by then?
He was sitting next to you.
Yeah.
I didn't know that
Somehow
was his last
there's
name.
Hahamian. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember his last name, and I just recently connected with him. Connected with him a few months ago. Uh, if you ever see this, Diego Jaime, what's up? But he went to elementary school with me, and I remember him being there, and we kind of us three kind of just hung out during those. You remember those tables in middle school were like a weird combination table where you could sit, like you sat down on this little narrow bench
Hmm.
that looked almost identical to the top part.
Yeah.
So it's like they could flip them around, right? So you could either sit where you ate and eat where you sat. Yeah, and that's where it all started, huh? Because then after that we had a couple classes together, right? We had English together.
It was that so zero period.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had zero period. Then we had second period was PE. Did we have Miss Fish together?
Yeah, we had Miss Fish together. We had PE. We had
And then we had our math and science switched. I know that.
yeah, same teachers, different hour. Didn't we have computer labs together for a while?
I thought we did, but you didn't have the one-handed teacher.
I can't remember, but I remember we had one teacher for part of the semester and another teacher for part of the other semester.
Hmm.
But I could have sworn that you were the kid who taught me what YouTube was. And this was 2005. This was when YouTube was starting. And there was a dedicated widget. Remember on the Mac? You remember those
Oh yeah.
school Macs? You would press, I don't remember if it was F13 or F12, and the little widgets would come up. And there was a little widget it's basically the old YouTube logo, which was like an old school TV. And I remember you telling me, hey, look, if you press this button, a widget comes up, and that's YouTube. What do you got there?
Okay, so this is Miss
That up?
Provincial, the one-handed teacher. Am I showing it? I can't
Oh yeah, I remember her. I remember seeing her. I don't remember having her. I remember having a dude, like a Kip from Napoleon Dynamite looking guy.
I'm trying to
Um,
see who that. Oh, Mr. Shimer?
oh man, that's probably him. Sounds like him. He looked like Kip, like an adult Kip. That's what I remember. That's how I.
It's this dude right here.
Yeah, yeah, that's him. That's who I had.
Yeah, they had.
Yeah, Mr.
I know they had the classrooms next door to each other.
Yeah. The point is, we were pretty intertwined in that time, and we became good friends with other people. With Hiram, Lowe, Franco. Do you remember a guy named Franco? I just
Yeah,
remember
Franco. I forgot about him completely.
he was another like Mexican
Yeah.
skater guy who was a little bit of a. He was kind of an a-hole. I remember when I first met him because he was kind of a bully. He was like a big kid. He was like a big, stocky kid.
Yeah, he was larger than
And
everybody for sure.
remember that? I was like, "Sheesh, is this kid in sixth grade?" Like he did not look like a sixth grader. And I remember being kind of intimidated, like being kind of scared of him. So I thought, oh, I have to be friends with him. I don't want to like have any trouble. I remember one of my biggest worries going into middle school was like being bullied for some reason. I was never bullied in elementary school, but I don't know why that was a fear we had. I don't know if it was television, but I had that.
Definitely.
It
The
was
show
TV, huh?
Recess at the time was like still like kind of on the end of its life. What else? All those Disney Channel shows, the live
Uh,
action ones.
the Ned's. Do you remember Ned's
Oh yeah,
Declassified?
Ned's Deep Classified.
Yeah, it's like all the tips were like how to not get bullied or like not look lame, not look like a
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah, how to look cool, how to not get bullied, and how to get out of doing your schoolwork.
Yeah, that's basically the whole show. Those were my worries in middle school. I was like,
I can't even
but
think of what my worries were. I think I was just like, I don't have enough time in the day to hang out with everybody.
yeah, you have a lot of friends. You had a couple friends going in, right? Because you knew Zach.
I
You knew
knew,
Zach Pin.
yeah, Zach, Ben,
Man.
um, who else?
Which is crazy to think about because now we're about the age that some of our teachers were when we were in school.
I was
because there
just thinking about that because
there was some.
sorry, go.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
I was just thinking about how a lot of these teachers are younger because I just went to a few different like old schools and this started because I went to circus camp and that can be a whole different thing. But they had like a keep in touch with us type thing. So I just was like, oh fuck it, I'll keep in touch with them. And so I thought I'm gonna email all of my old schools, see if they might have a yearbook that I could buy, or if they have like a something. Who knows?
Right, right.
And Hyde Park is the only one that got back to me and got back to me the next day and just said, we don't have any yearbooks.
That's actually, now that you mention that, imagine how much money they. I don't know, but I would pay money for a yearbook from when I was in fifth grade. You know,
Just if they had a few spares, like lying around or something that nobody picked up, they could accumulate.
or even digital files. Were things not done digitally in 2004? Is there not a word a publisher file with the digital layout of the yearbook? There has to be, right?
I have heard, and I'm not 100% certain about this, but I have heard of some people getting a copy of like their high school yearbook from like 20, 30 years ago. Um, and I don't know if it's maybe there's a, what is the word for it? Like a main source book, and then they
Uh-huh.
can print it based off of that, or like a main file even. Um, that they
But I
just
mean, how did they publish the yearbook? Because right now, if magazines or any print media, and you have maybe you can when you interview Marissa, if you ever get her on the show, she works in print, right? They have files, right? There's a computer file that
yeah.
has the layout of what's going to be printed. So that has to have existed, right? Someone has to have that.
I'm sure it's a lot more of a thing now because it did say on the website the digital yearbook. So there's definitely digital yearbooks now. It's just is a digital year or do they have digital yearbooks for X amount of years ago?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 2004, 2005 is was it done by hand? Because I remember that's another thing. Remember they used to so they used to cut the photos out and like Xerox a page,
Oh,
which
really?
Xeroxing. If you say this to someone who's under 20, maybe 20, to Xerox something, they probably have no idea
I
what that
think
is,
there's
right?
some people even our age who might not know what that is.
Really? Am I
Yeah.
that old?
I think we're right on the cusp of like a handful of our part of the generation knows what that is and others don't.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. If you, I guess, if you weren't very digitally inclined, you might not
Hmm.
know. But so what I used to know is I used to see because I don't know where I saw this, but they used to cut the photos out, the physical images of what was going to be printed. They would Xerox it into one page, like compile it, the design together,
Hmm.
Xerox it, and make the copies from that Xerox. And Xeroxing is basically just scanning, right? I guess that's how we could describe it, like photo scanning something.
Yeah, it's just
Um,
a it's Xerox is actually a brand.
right. Yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like saying Kleenex for tissue paper.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy how that's gonna take me on another tangent about technology, but that's the story, folks, of how I met Dylan, how Dylan met Jorge, and how Jorge met Dylan.
And then
And we kind of kept in touch. We kind of went our different ways during middle school and high school, right? And then uh,
I think that was mostly due to a one thing I've noticed is like at least in retrospect is a lot of your friends throughout school, it's just distance based.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's and like you can have friends from a distance and stuff, but they're not the same. You're not gonna have that same uh, close relationship to somebody you might see at school. And so that's why your friends will change year to year in your classes and stuff. Since seventh
Yeah.
grade, like you switching, and then I lived in California for a little bit, and then I came back, and then I switched, and then you came back, and then I moved to Colorado and moved back. Then you moved to Mexico.
Yeah. When I came down here to Mexico, I think you were the last friend that I constantly kept in touch with through video games, through
Oh yeah.
Black Ops 1. Remember?
Oh
Those
yeah.
are the good old. We were we've been gamers since day one, Hundlin. We've been on that game shit.
I mean, I wouldn't
We,
call myself a gamer. I like a few select games, but
I mean,
I
but you
like
play
playing
them
with my
pretty.
friends.
Okay, okay. I guess we are though. We do. I think we've spent a considerable amount of our lifetime in front of a console
A little
or
too
playing
much.
something.
But I do it to socialize with you, is really
Right?
it.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. You know, I realize that too. Like, if there's no one online of my friends, or if no one's gonna play, I won't play. Like, I'll be like, okay, because I guess there are people who would just religiously play every day. You know, whether or not they have friends.
Hmm.
Um, oh boy, a storm is brewing over here in Mexico City, dude.
Oh, here too. It's gonna rain tomorrow.
Oh
I'm gonna
yeah,
go bowling.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I think. I
Oh,
don't
nice.
know, actually. I'm gonna have to figure that out with Nia later. But anyway, back to.
Yeah, so we've had our healthy dose of video games. I remember what was my very first console was the Game Boy Color when I turned what 5 or 6, and I had Pokemon Yellow. I actually have it right there. I found it
For real?
in my grandma today. I have my OG Game Boy, my purple Game Boy Color, and I have the Pokemon Pikachu
Oh, you had the
case.
purple? I had the green.
Yeah. Oh, you do?
I don't have it anymore, but I had the green.
Yeah, I have the OG purple and the yellow Pikachu case
Well,
that came with it.
one reason I actually have this commonplace notebook um, is because basically anything before the age of 15 that I have had is gone. Like,
Uh-huh.
I've moved so many times, and we had in one of the moves, a bunch of the stuff didn't show up because it was from Vegas to Colorado, and then
Right.
on the way back, we had to get rid of some stuff, and then I lost a box of stuff in another move, and on, just a bunch of stuff back and forth. But I'm trying to kind of rebuild memories now.
Yeah, and it's definitely harder now that I mean I think about the rebuilding memories like for my sisters. I have 3 little sisters who are all under 14, and the amount of like digital archives that we have of them, videos,
Mhm.
photos, it's compared to what we have, and we're not even that old. I mean, I'm 27, um, but I didn't have like my parents weren't taking photos of me every day. I
Yeah.
still remember like when they would take the camera out, like the video recorder out. It was like during
Yeah, it was a
Christmas
special
or someone's
occasion.
birthday, right? And the other day I was just going through my phone, my camera roll, and I was like, I have so many stupid videos and like random photos of my sisters. Like I'll have a Snapchat filter of like that makes you look bald, and I'll have one of my little sister, and she hates it. She cried the other day because she doesn't like how she looks. She just turned 8, but I'm like, this is funny because I'm gonna have this video is going to digitally exist forever. As long as I don't delete it,
Yeah.
as long as it's always on my Apple Cloud storage or whatever, this will be around. Your kids are gonna see this video.
I just
That's insane.
I just got access to my old laptop for the first time in 6 years, maybe.
Oh,
And
what era was this laptop? Like how far back did you have it?
I bought it when we were playing Black Ops.
10 years? No. Yeah, it's like 10 years ago.
It was like a 2000. It was right before they switched the models up a little bit. It was the old school chunky MacBook Pros.
Oh, okay, okay.
Um, but so my sister, so I have two little sisters. My sister Malia, I found she's 17 now, and I found this photo of her like before I actually met her.
Oh yeah.
Can't see it too
Hold on,
well.
skateboard. You can see a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see a little bit, but she's just like a little girl. And then luckily my other sister, she's too young, and I don't think she's gonna listen to this anytime soon. Um, but I started this thing, so because my youngest sister was born in 2019, every year on her birthday, I'm going to write in this journal, and I actually have, I think it's right behind me, but I'm not gonna fuck with it. Um, I have another journal, and I put a photo in of me at that time, and then I'll write like something that happened to me at that time frame, and then I'll fill in like what the past year was. So
Oh, nice.
she turns, what is it, 4 next year. So I'll get 4-year-old photo of me, throw it in there, tell her about how this year's gone. I'll write about this podcast. So then when she turns 18, I'm going to give her this journal, and then she can read it and be. She doesn't have to feel too distant from me because we are 24 years apart.
Yeah. Yeah, because by the time she reads that, you'll be almost 50. You know.
It's
So
crazy. The difference in age between her and I is the same between me and my mother.
Oh, really?
Yeah, who did not give birth to her.
Your child.
Yeah,
Yeah, she could easily be your child.
yeah, my stepmom is like 34 or something like that, 35.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's closer to my age than my dad's age.
Yeah, because your dad's like 50, right? 50 something.
He, again, I don't even know. I think he's 2 or 3 years younger than my mom, so he would be around 50.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, we, I think about my age. I'm 27. When my dad was 27, he had 3 kids. He had me, my brother, my sister, and he was like already working. And, he was at my age, he had just immigrated to Vegas, and he was living with my grandparents in a little three bedroom or 2 bedroom apartment. And it was my grandparents, my 4 or 5 uncles, my mom, me, and my little sister. And I think when he turned 28, we moved to the apartment. We used to live down by what's that part of town called in Vegas? It is like, do you know Fry's Electronics Store? Did you ever hear
Uh,
about a
yeah,
electronics
yeah.
store?
The one that was by at Town Square, or was there a different one?
There was a different one that was by back in the day. It was called the Bells Outlet Mall. This was, I don't even know what part of town this was. I used to go to Lewis Weiner Elementary School. If anybody knows where Lewis Weiner Elementary School in Charlotte Hill,
I can look this up actually. Here, I'll look this up.
it's
Oh,
funny because there was a thing back in the day where it was a school where you would go pre-K to second grade in one school, and then you'd go third to fifth grade at another school right in front of it. So pre-K to second grade was Lewis Weiner Elementary.
okay. I'm looking where you are. Yeah, you would not probably be able to guess where this is because at that time, this part of town was like so new, probably.
Yeah, yeah. There was nothing. There was a lot of desert. I remember there was a lot of desert and there was like a lot of construction going on. Where is that?
So that is, I actually lived kind of in this area, except just for a year, my freshman year.
Oh, okay.
So Lewis Weiner Elementary School is off El Dorado and Bermuda, which is on the north or the southeast side of Las Vegas.
Yeah, I remember being not too far from the casinos, if I'm not mistaken. From
Yeah, you're pretty close. It's very close to the airport.
yeah, yeah, that's where I grew up. So I lived there for a couple of years. Well, I went there from basically kindergarten to second, almost third grade. That's when I moved down to Northtown. That's where I live by. Do you know Cheyenne High School?
Yeah.
Parson Elementary School, and that's where I finished school. But um, why was I talking? Oh yeah, so my dad was my age when he was living down there. He like had an apartment, he had a family. I'm like 27. I'm just like, well, I don't have any of that. Like the things I have to my name are very tangible things.
I also
Uh,
feel like now, 27 is the new 17 in a way. It kind of is.
yeah, I guess we're still looked at like kids, right? They still see us as like kids,
Mhm.
society, which is I don't know if that's good or bad, but think about when you start having kids though, we're probably going to be well into our 30s.
Mhm.
So that means our parents are going to be even older when they I mean, we're going to be even older as parents when our kids start becoming teenagers and stuff, you know?
Yeah, I my grandma, she I actually just found out what year she was born. I think she turns 83 this year.
Okay.
Um, she is a great grandmother. Um, because my cousin Gabe had a kid, and I don't know if she's going to see another great grandkid or not. I hope she gets to see mine, but I'm not
Right.
rushing to have a kid. Nia and I have a rough idea for when we want to have kids, like maybe 5 to 8 years or so.
Hmm.
Um, but I hope my grandma gets to meet them at least. Oh, Matt just texted me about Pokemon.
Yeah.
He's gonna
How old
answer
is
back
Matt?
later. Matt's 40.
Yeah. Matt's a 4-year-old man. Shout out, Matt, if you're seeing this. We love you, boy.
Love Matt.
But think about it. When I first met Matt, when I started talking to Matt and stuff, I would never have imagined that being his age. Just because he's so youthful and he is kind of in the loop of the things we are into. Um,
You should see how he
from,
dresses.
yeah, well, I've seen a couple of photos. I've never met that guy in real life. I will soon though. But it's just kind of like, oh yeah, this is what a modern age 40-year-old man would know. They
Hmm.
are still somewhat into video games and technology, and they have their interests. But what I'm getting towards is like I think it's gonna get to the point, dude, where grandparents will be extinct, where our kids won't have grandparents because of how old we had them.
Yeah,
You know,
I
they'll
could see
have them
that.
for just very few years, but most of our kids or our children's children will be like, "Oh yeah, my grandpa died when I was 10." You know,
Yeah,
because right now I still met my great grandmother. My great grandmother died 2 years ago. She was 97, 98. You
mine
know,
died in 6th grade.
right? But how old was she?
I want to say she was 94 or 91, something around there.
Right, 90 something. And I mean, my great grandma was popping out kids when she was 16. You know, so think about that. It's gonna be a whole generations, and this is not even that far away. This is probably what, maybe 3 generations away, where our children's children will might not even get to see a great grandparent or a grandparent.
Well,
'Cause just how old we had them.
it also depends on how healthy we stay. So, like, if maybe if we stay healthier, they will have it, but we'll just be older, more decrepit people. We'll just be like 112 and kind of rolling around in our futuristic bed, thinking about
Uh-huh.
how uh, we have like great grandkids, or something who are just being born.
Oh, you heard that?
Whoa, is that thunder?
Yeah, it's crazy. Right?
That's
It's raining.
awesome.
I mean, not really. I have a we have a concert to go to tonight, so we're gonna go watch. It's an outdoor arena too, so
Oh, no.
yeah. The show. I didn't know this. My brother's just texting me right now. Doors open at 5, which is about in 30 minutes from now. But there's two opening acts. I don't know who they are. I've never heard of these bands. Um, Maybe you do. I don't think so. I think these guys are just local. We have, geez, let me see if I can even see this. The Warning and Killbirds. I
Uh, no. Killbird sounds familiar, but I think it's because there's a company across the street from Nia's work called Allbirds.
oh yeah.
Oh
So
yeah,
Killbirds
it's gonna be storming, dude.
at my house.
Yeah, I got AccuWeather.
Oh jeez. Oh jeez, dude. I'm gonna have to bring a rain jacket, dude. It hasn't rained in like this hasn't rained like this in a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
But so it says it should get cloudy around 8, hopefully. So the Foo Fighters, we're gonna go watch the Foo Fighters. They start playing at 9:15.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it says by then it should stop raining. I hope so, dude, because traffic is gonna be insane. They're playing at the I don't know what it's called. It's a racetrack where they do the Formula
Oh.
One race here. Yeah. So in the pit of the racetrack, they have the pit kind of made for a multi-purpose thing. So they do a lot of concert festivals there. And whenever there's a big show, in the entrance of the pit, which is actually where the race cars like start off, where the starting line is.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they set the stage. It's a big forum too. It's a huge place, and they have a bunch of seats there. So it is thundering hard down here, dude.
Oh yeah, I can hear that. That's fun.
Yeah. But yeah, we're excited. I've never seen the Foo Fighters live. I'm a big fan. I like Dave Grohl. I like. I think I'm a big fan of older Foo Fighters than I am of newer Foo Fighters. But
Did you hear they put a dance album out?
the Bee Gees cover album.
No, not the DG stuff. Their newest album is a pop dance album.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's actually pretty good. I downloaded it maybe a month and a half ago, and I was listening to it at the gym one day, and I was like, this is actually pretty fun. There's a couple songs on it that um, I would actually recommend. Let me take a look at what they're called because
They're not going by the name Foo Fighters, are they?
uh, the DGs stuff, that's the Bee Gees, but
Yeah.
the Foo Fighters song, Shame Shame on Medicine at Midnight, um, that was
Oh yeah,
pretty
but
good.
that's their new album.
Yeah, it's a dance album.
Really? Well, yeah, I guess. I'd have to re-listen to some of them. I don't know. Why do you say dance? Which song screamed dance to you?
Well, I say it because Dave Grohl said it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the only reason I say it.
Yeah, because I was looking at the set list that they play. Well, set list FM, like you can check the set lists that they've
Yeah.
been playing. So they're playing 2 songs off of this album, 2 or 3, which is Shame Shame, and they're playing No Son of Mine, which No Son of Mine I heard, and it's kind of like older school Foo Fighters, kind of like um, Best of You era Foo Fighters.
I don't really remember any of the songs by name except for Shame Shame because that one was so easy to identify.
Well, Best of You is 2005 Foo Fighters. That's the I got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Nah, nah,
I think
nah.
Making a Fire was pretty cool as well, if I remember correctly.
And their movie comes out this week here. The Foo Fighters 666.
Yeah,
666 album.
can't wait for
I
that.
mean, they're busy, dude. Foo Fighters props. They've been consistently releasing music and projects. They do a bunch of different stuff, in different
I
media.
I can't wait to get to Dave Grohl's book. I as soon as I get through the series of unfortunate events, which is it's over 3,300 pages, and I'm just trying to grind it out now. I want to get through a few of these books that I have, and then I need to get that Dave Grohl book because I've been so excited for it for a while. Uh,
Yeah.
it's I can't wait to hear because he's. It's not that he's just a great musician. He's an entertaining guy.
Yeah. Yeah. He's he's funny. He is kind of like an aggressive guy. Like that's how he
Hmm.
comes off, like in his public appearance. But it's kind of like, oh, he's still kind of very much like that classic rock star guy.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this guy's in a rock band. Tales of Life and Music. Dave Grohl, the storyteller. Yeah, I've even seen some of the documentaries he's released. He released a documentary about what it's like to be a band who travels like in a van. So
Hmm.
they talk about the importance of traveling in a van and how that affects music, the writing process, the
The
camaraderie.
camaraderie. Yeah.
Yeah. So I saw that documentary. It was interesting, and he's got a lot of. I mean, Dave Grohl. He's friends with everybody.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot of big friends. So yeah, I'm excited for the show. I'm excited to see. It's a 2.5 hour set list, which is nice.
Whoa.
Yeah, they
Oh
play.
my
I've been
goodness.
looking. This is an arena. This is an arena tour. They're playing around 23 to 25 songs.
I don't even think when I saw Justin Bieber he played that long.
Well, when did you see him? What was he touring?
It was the Purpose tour.
Okay, so he had a few albums out by then.
Yeah. I think the longest single set list I've ever seen was by Newfound Glory.
How long was that?
They did the entire it was their Sticks and Stones tour, so they played the entirety of Sticks and Stones front to back, and then as an encore, they played the entirety of Cataclysm front to back
As the encore?
as the encore.
As the encore, they play a whole nother album?
Yeah. It was so insane. But
Yeah, so,
I have a thought for you real quick.
yeah,
Just because I want to jump around topics. Sorry to cut you a little bit off.
go ahead.
So this sounds like a conflicting. Let me start with this actually. This morning I decided before the end of the year I'm going to run an um, Olympic distance triathlon,
Okay,
which is right under a mile worth of swimming. Um,
right.
I think that's 2.5 kilometers. It's about 22 miles biking, which is 40 kilometers, and then 6.2 miles running, which is 10 kilometers.
Okay.
And which means I need to get into hardcore shape, and which I can do the running. That's fine. I think I need to do some type of breathing stuff so I can get through the running and then the biking and or the swimming, then the biking, and then get to the running. So one of my thoughts is kind of a challenge to you. Well, it's a challenge to both of us, and I've been saving it to do on this podcast.
All
So,
right.
and it might be conflicting for you, and you can bow out for either its conflicting reasons or because you don't want to. I don't care. But in about 1 month from today, roughly, is the start of Ramadan. Are you familiar with Ramadan?
Just vaguely from what I've seen on the media.
So it is an Islamic ceremony or
Right.
tradition. I don't know what it would be exactly, or maybe it's Muslim specifically. Um, I think it's Muslim.
Muslim.
Yeah, Muslim,
Yeah,
not Islamic. Um,
Muslim.
where you fast every single day while the sun is out. So you can
Okay.
only eat when the sun is down.
So it says here it starts Friday, April 1st.
Oh, it's April 1st. I thought it was April 16th.
Ramadan 2022 begins Friday, April 1st and ends the evening of Saturday, April 30th.
Oh, wow. I thought it said the 16th when I read. Okay. So it's even
Boy,
sooner.
yeah, 29th. Islamic months are 29 to 30 days. This year's is going to be 29 days long.
Yeah, and they're going off the lunar calendar as well.
Yeah, 9 month Islamic calendar. The exact dates change every year.
Hmm.
Uh, wow.
Yeah, so
Fast. This is like extreme. Well, not even that extreme. This is kind of like interval fasting.
yeah, it's interval fasting. It's just a little bit longer. So you just got to make sure you wake up early, you have a good breakfast, maybe if you're able to, take a nap in the daytime while you can like get rid of some of that time in the middle. I mean, I'm not going to. I never fucking sleep. Um, and then
Yeah.
you eat a big meal at night. And so
Wow.
I didn't know it was actually coming up that fast. I might have to think about that a little bit. But so I was thinking about trying it out, and I wanted to see if you were down to try it out because you were getting into your health similarly
Yeah.
to how I've been interested in my own health over the past almost year now. And
That would be. I mean, it's definitely a challenge.
it is a challenge.
I did do interval fasting about a year and a half ago when I started kind of watching my weight. About a year and a half ago is when I lost through interval fasting and diet and exercise. I lost about 14 kilos in about 3 months.
Oh, wow.
Um, so I know I can do interval fasting.
It's just a
The
long day.
It's just a long day. I mean I don't eat a lot of food anyway. Like in breakfast, I mostly eat at night. How healthy would it be though to eat at night? Only at night though for a month.
Well, this is why I kind of said I have a little bit of a problem with it being so soon. I go to the gym every single day at 6 o'clock
Yes.
until 7 o'clock. I
Let me
run.
let me tell you. Let me just pause there and tell the folks at home. When Dylan says he goes every day, Dylan goes every day. Like he was sick. Dylan had not even. I wouldn't call it a flu. It was. I don't know how sick you got, but
I had
Dylan
a
was.
stomach flu of some type.
Yeah, Dylan was dead sick, and he was still hitting the gym
Over
religiously.
101 fever.
Yeah, So that's crazy, dude. If I feel a little bit bad, I don't go. And Dylan was hitting it. You see that stride? Look at that. He's not missed a day. That's 89 days he's been consistent at the gym. So what's your problem with it then? With the
Okay.
calendar?
So, thanks to daylight savings, the sun rises at about 7:15 right now.
Okay.
Over the course of the next month, I'm sure it'll probably move up close to half an hour. Or the next month and a half, it'll probably move up to maybe 6:45. That means I have to eat before I go to the gym, which is not a good idea. So,
Yeah.
I was thinking about maybe bending the rule a little bit. And maybe it's you can start or stop eating at like 7:30 in the morning.
Well, how long are you fasting? Sun comes up around 7 a.m. And what time does the sun set?
Let me look right now. So today specifically, the sun rose at 7:07. Oh wow. Okay, so it's getting faster. And the sun will go down at Oh wait, that's sunset. Let me do tomorrow. Sorry. Tomorrow, sunrise is at 7:10
Mm-hmm.
and sunset is at 7:08. So it's 12 hours roughly.
It's not. It's not. That's really not much. It's actually nothing. Uh, I used to fast 16 hours a day, which is what they tell you to fast when you
Yeah.
do interval fasting. So I would eat from my first meal would be at 2 p.m. My last meal would be 9 p.m. and I wouldn't eat till the next day at 2. So that's 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. That's 12 hours already. So it's actually not that hard, Dylan. Maybe what you could do is just for 30 days, just for 30 days, change your gym schedule.
Oh no, I'm not changing that gym schedule. These these motherfuckers. Okay, let me tell you a secret. These motherfuckers at this gym are so goddamn dirty and so disrespectful that I have created a war inside that gym.
Between the people who go to the gym or between the people
Between me and at least one other person.
who
There,
goes to the gym?
yeah. So let me tell you. So what I do at the gym every day is I run on the treadmill for 60 minutes, or sometimes I do 40 minutes, and then 20 minutes of like weight workouts, which I'm trying to get away from because I do workouts inside my like right in my living room anyway. Um, until at least I get my bike fixed. When I get my bike fixed, I'm gonna do biking, running, and then I'll do my 20 minutes at the gym. But um, wow, I just trailed off so far that I actually kind of forgot where I was.
You said you were at war with someone
Oh,
at the gym.
sorry. Yeah, thank you. Um, so the first thing is they keep leaving the treadmill, like you know the little clip that like you put on you. They always like throw it around and just leave like this mess, and and it's like always super inclined and covered in fucking like Gatorade or something. And there's like
Ugh.
and then sometimes they'll come in and there's like gum or lollipops on the ground and like
What?
yeah. And I actually think someone comes in there with their kid because there's little handprints on the mirror.
Oh, yeah, there's a kid there.
But in addition to that, somebody's always like putting the I don't know the name of any of the gym stuff, but the you pull it down and like you make it wide, and it's like a rope that you kind of
Rope. Yeah.
yeah
I don't know the names either.
yeah. So they always use that, and I always just put it behind a bunch of the other like things. So I'll
Uh,
grab like the fly cable thing, and I'll just put it in front of that, or like I'll just toss it on the ground or something. And what has happened is, and it seems like there's more people who go there as well, because
right.
I've seen at least three people who use the gym separately. Um, but stuff starts getting moved around all the time now. And like
Oh,
I tied the little thing on the treadmill, the little clip rope. I tied it on there so they can't get it off.
so you are actively hiding.
I'm being a menace.
Okay, yeah, but they kind of are too, then, right? They're kind of messing with the
They're
things.
reciprocating the menacing,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm definitely being a menace and I'm causing a war only because I'm spiting them all for being pigs. And it could be one person who's just being a super pig, but I'm spiting
Right.
everybody and I don't care.
Are you the first person then at the gym? So that's got to be someone going at night then, right? Because
Dude,
you're at the gym at 7, right?
so I get there sometimes so early that the door doesn't let me in. I have to wait for a minute because it's on a timer.
Oh, like there's a schedule to use it.
Yeah, so um, or it's not like a schedule, but it's from I think it's 6 to 10, or it might be 6 to 8, somewhere in there. The gym is open every day, and the door is connected to the computer, so like you can only
Right.
um, go in at that time. And I'm there every single day first thing. I've only ever had one guy come in twice in that time frame.
And he saw you, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm out of here."
No,
Yeah,
no,
I'm not.
he did
He
his
saw you
bike
doing that
thing.
backwards. It's like doing that backwards run where you have that thing on your head.
The punching ball. Dude, I broke it the other day.
Dylan puts a Dylan puts a punching ball on his head, which is like a what is that even for? Could you describe what that looks like? It's like a bandana with a string attached to it, and at the end of that string, there's a little rubber ball,
So
right?
there is think of a softball. It's the
Hmm.
size and weight of a softball. Like the same density actually as a softball as well, but it's completely made of rubber, so it will mess your knuckles up. Um,
Yeah.
it's an accuracy ball to try to get you to keep your hands up to keep you to keep your hands up to keep you kind of fast to make sure as it kind of moves around you can hit it. Um, when I do it not on the treadmill, I like to do some head movement and let it fly by. But on the treadmill, um, I like to walk backwards because it's good for your knees. So,
Yeah.
so rather than just walk backwards for an hour and be extremely bored, I found that I can do my little accuracy to punch in the ball, and I can kind of get a two-in-one thing going where it's if you're in a fight and if someone's running at you or something and you got to run backwards and you got to strike, then
Yeah.
I got that covered, at least in theory.
So this is a tool used by fighters. Then I'd never seen it.
Yeah, it's like a boxing Muay Thai style tool. It's not like the most popular. It's kind of a solo workout thing, and it looks kind of silly. So it's like it's again, it's not the best workout. You get a lot better practice with a coach doing the pads, or maybe even sparring with a partner, some light sparring. But
Yeah, but I mean,
it's
the
fun.
way you use it, yeah, the way you use it looks like it's working out. Because Dylan wears this thing around his head. If you guys ever want to see, check out his TikTok. Because Dylan puts a TikTok out every day of his workout, which is
Try to
good because it
inspire
kind of forces
everybody.
you to do it. Yeah, and it kind of forces you to do it, right? Because well, I got to have this evidence out there in the world, the internet world, that I did it. And he's puts it on his head and he's punching it, and then he's walking backwards on the treadmill. It's
Sometimes I
just
do the
insane.
incline with it also.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insane. I can barely like text while I'm doing the treadmill because the other day I was texting something and I was kind of going off reading something and I started going to the side of the treadmill
Hmm.
and like I almost it was all I was my ass was almost grass like I was about to I like tripped on it. I was like, ugh. I'm like, how does Dylan punch a ball while doing this backwards? I don't even know how you're able to read on the treadmill going that fast.
Yeah,
That's insane.
I kind of use both of those as an excuse, as like, because walking, I've done so much walking in my life that reading or walking backwards while punching a ball while walking that's rest to me. So
Mhm.
anytime I do that, that's kind of me like cheating. It's my rest day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, yeah, because it looks like you are kind of taking it easy because most of the time you're doing like a full sprint on that thing.
Yeah,
But
I like to do my what I try to tell myself is it's not about the it's not about the workout. It's not about how much calories you're burning. It's not about your heart rate. It's not about any of these things. It's just about going far. Just try to go. Um, and there's two reasons of inspiration behind that. It's I want to try to get these medals on the Conqueror app, and
yes.
also it works.
Yeah. Have you gained, I mean, have you measured how much weight you've lost or
Oh yeah.
your body mass index since you started running so aggressively?
So in October, I went to the doctor just as a
Right.
general checkup. Um, the last I weighed myself before October was in, I want to say, April of last year.
Uh huh.
And I was about 140.
What's this in kilos? I speak kilos.
Sorry.
What's this, like 67 kilos?
It's probably around there.
Okay.
63 and a half.
Okay. This was in April of 2021.
Yeah, April of 2021. I had already lost, probably every other year, I had lost like 20 pounds or so because I had used to be, let me see what this is. At my biggest, I weighed 105 kilos.
That's what, 220, 225,
232.
230 pounds. Okay.
Yeah.
So now you've lost about 40 kilos since then. And since April, how much have you lost?
And then from April to October, I went from 63 kilos to 56 kilos.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
125 pounds.
In 6 months.
And
well, 125 total.
Mhm.
That's
And
crazy. Are you at your target weight yet? How much do you want to get to?
I really can't lose any more weight. I have so much extra skin now. It's crazy. Like,
Like, you have skin flaps?
not like that. It's like if I sit here, I can pull on my skin a lot. Like,
What?
that's quite a bit.
Yeah. Is that really? Is that normal?
No, I was not like that always. Like, I have it on my arms a lot more.
That's because you weighed 110 kilos so long ago?
Yeah. So from I'd say 16 to about 19, I weighed around that weight, and then to about 21, I got down to. Let me see this. Let me try to convert for you. Because I was always skating to work around that time, around 21 ish. I got down
Yeah,
to
you started losing.
Yeah, I got down to about 82 kilos, like 180 ish pounds. And then,
Which is about regular.
yeah. And then in 2019, I got really sick, and I don't know what happened. To this day, I'm still very confused about it. But I lost a. I was throwing up for a whole month straight, essentially, and I got
Yeah.
down to 125 pounds.
Jeez.
But then healthily, I put it back on. I got back up to like 150.
Right.
Started doing some like martial arts training and stuff. Got in the 135, 140 range, and then the running just like dropped all the weight off, and I've been consistent at like 120.
Wow. Well, congratulations, man. That's not an easy thing to do.
Oh yeah.
And to keep it, to keep that weight. So, all right. So just to get back to it then. So we're doing Ramadan April 1st.
I think we should do 7 a.m. or 7:30 a.m. to sunset like normal, just so we can have a little bit extra, so it can be our thing, so we don't have to infringe upon kind of a religious, what would you call this, a ceremony, a rite, a religious
Yeah, it's a practice. I mean, it's kind of
practice.
cool.
That's what it
I'd like
is.
to read into it. To see what, the spiritual aspect of that. I mean, in my religion, we do fasting. We're prompted to fast, once a month for 24 hours,
Hmm.
which, I mean, once a month for 24 hours is not much. Like I said, and even Ramadan, 12 hours a day is not too bad. It's
Yeah.
from sunrise, sunset's not too bad. It's just controlling your appetite. I can do it. I'm down to do it. It's going to be a little bit hard because come April, it's spring break. We have trips, plans. I got some friends coming over to town, but I'm sure I can swing it. This is just fasting from solids, right? Like you can still drink water.
Absolutely. You get water during the day.
Right.
So it's the reason I'm kind of like pushing, I'm saying 7:30 is I'll get home, just jump in the shower real quick, maybe have um I always
A
have
veggie.
yeah, I have my smoothie in the morning, and then maybe I'll have like something with my smoothie, something light, like
Mm-hmm.
maybe a little bit of chicken or something with it, which would be so
Yeah.
fucking weird with an acai and peanut butter smoothie.
Yeah. With chicken.
Yeah. Blackened
Yeah.
jerk chicken.
So that's your usual regime. That's usually what you eat. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big breakfast guy. The other strategy though is just waking up at 3 p.m.,
Yeah, it's just
Eating all
being
night.
earlier in or being up more in the dark hours.
Yeah. No, which by no means do I want to do that, but because I'm trying to get back into it as well. Just this last 2 weeks have been kind of rough. I didn't go to the gym much. I got sick. My mom was here, etc. But now I'm back to it. I'm hoping to get back into it in these next couple of days, um, and get down. Start losing weight again because that's what we need. And we have it. I think we are lucky that we have access to these means to lose weight. Because it's hard. Losing weight's hard.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I don't know any ladies out there, but scientifically, women it's harder for women. Women lose less weight than men do. So the fact that you've been able to lose all this and keep it big, big ups to you, man. And I'm sure you've had your share of lifestyle changes. But I'm down to do it. I'm down to do the Ramadan. I'm down to do it. It'd be interesting. I'm going to read up on it too because I'd like to do it from the spiritual aspect as well. Kind of
That's
see
what I wanted to do as well.
because they do a lot of meditating, right? A lot of meditating and
I know
praying during the.
in the Muslim religion they pray towards the towards Mecca. I think it's 3
Right.
or 4 times a day.
Isn't it like 5?
Maybe it's 5. I don't know.
Yeah. I'll tell you right now. I think it's 5 because I was reading. Did you ever read I Am Malala?
No, I am unfamiliar with that actually. I was a big reader as a child, and I'm a big reader now, but everything in between, almost nothing.
Islam does require 5 daily prayers:
5, okay.
sunrise, noon, afternoon, sunset, and night prayer. Yeah. I knew it was like you've
And
never read. So I Am Malala. It's full cover here. The girl who stood up for education was shot by the Taliban, by Malala Yousafzai. If you like, that's a book to read, my man. I read that maybe a year and a half ago, and it really does explain to you. She goes in depth into. Obviously, she talks about the situation where her father was a school teacher, and when it started to get rough, in I'm trying to not mess this up. Let me just read this part
let's get the
because
synopsis out real
it's
quick.
so specific. Um, yeah, Swat Valley. I'm just trying to remember where she's from. Pakistan. Yes. So she talks about how her dad was a school teacher, and when the regimes in Pakistan started getting more radical, and they start prohibiting, girls, women from going to school, she kind of does it undercover. She fights for that. She fights for her rights for education as a woman, and she ends up getting targeted by the Taliban, and she's shot one day. But she goes into depth of Islam and her religion as a Muslim, and how the media paints it one way as a Muslim bad extremists, everyone's a radical,
Mm-hmm.
but no, at its core, they have the same beliefs as a lot of Western Christian religions,
Yeah.
so which is no violence, which she tells you how the radicals changed or would manipulate the scripture that they would read so that people would see, like, oh, do an act of violence. Oh, it says it, in the Quran. That's what it says. That's what we're taught. But it's not like that. Everything was corrupted. So it's very interesting because you learn all about that culture and something, especially in Mexico, we don't really know about that. We're more inclined to know about, America and the U.S. and that Western culture. But so that's definitely, if you're going to read that, if you have room on your list for this
I
year,
do.
very good read. It's
And
a
this
very
is a
good read.
nonfiction book?
It's nonfiction. Yeah, she wrote it. She's a Nobel Peace Prize winner. Nobel. Yeah, I don't know if my words are getting jumbled
What's
now.
the name of it one more time?
I Am Malala.
Okay. I wrote that down so I can actually add that to my list.
You're gonna like it. I learned a lot about what it is to be a modern age Muslim and the trials and tribulations of just the people in Pakistan. It's crazy, no? Like, but I don't know. I don't want to get too into it.
I learned a lot about kind of about the culture through my favorite book I think I've ever read at this point, and I want to go back on it one day, is
the Bible.
I kind of look at it as my Bible now because
Okay.
I actually, on my first page of my commonplace notebook, to go back to this again annoyingly, I actually used my favorite quote from that book on page 1 just to I should probably not put the information underneath there. I'm not going to say what it is.
From what's the quote from? What book is it from then?
The book is Sapiens by Yuval Harari.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about you were reading that. So you really liked it.
It is incredible. There's actually technically 2 follow-ups, but there's for sure one follow-up called Homo Deus. Then there's I actually have another one. I think
Kind of anthropologic. He kind of goes through about like anthropology, right?
absolutely.
Of the human race.
So there are 4 segments throughout the book. There is the I'm spacing on them. The scientific revolution, the agricultural revolution, the I think
Technology.
I think technology was the final one. That was the name of it. And then the first one was like stone tools.
Okay.
Whatever that one would be called. But there's a lot of interesting information in it about they went through a religion and how a lot of the religions connect. And I learned a lot of interesting misconceptions about different religions inside that book. And
What's the quote? What's the quote you have?
my favorite quote. Okay. So, he broke down the Declaration of Independence. The line, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
Right.
And so if you take that that line and use it in strictly biological terms, that quote would be, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men evolved differently, that they are born with certain mutable characteristics, and that among these are life and the pursuit of pleasure.
Okay.
Yeah, so he
I like
basically broke down why each of those things can't apply to at least evolution, but they can apply to obviously other things and other beliefs.
Right. I like that. I think that's a good note to wrap up our episode, my man.
You getting
I
ready
think we've
to
hit
go
about
to your
the hour
show?
mark here. Well, it starts in 2 hours. Not much of that. We still have time. I still gotta get there and drive.
No, yeah,
It's gonna be a good show.
Prep.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good show. I'll let you know how it goes. I'll send you some videos. Any Foo Fighters songs you want to hear?
Pretender.
Oh yeah, is
Oh,
that your
dude, I ran to the Pretender. Like if you look at my TikTok video of me running, there's a point maybe because it's in a time lapse where for like 13 seconds or so, maybe not even that fast, actually.
yeah?
I my legs look like they're not moving. It's during that song.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Just because you're going so hard.
yeah, yeah. I love that song.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I'd love to if you ever need if you ever want, if you ever interview someone else or you need anyone else, I'd love to be back on here. What's the name of the show? I didn't even. It's
So
just Dylan and I.
Dylan and I. So I kind of want in the future, it's gonna be like the guest can kind of introduce it. It's like it's Dylan and I because it's kind of our show for the day. It's not just mine.
Right. I like that. I like that. And I like that photo you sent. So, folks, when you see that photo, just know that I said it
That's all you.
is the photo. I approve that image.
You made sure it was better, actually.
I just chose a photo. You did all the work. But all right, my man. Well, thank you so much for having me. Then it's
Dude,
been a
yeah.
pleasure.
This is fun. We're gonna do it again soon. You have fun at your show, man.
Thanks, my boy. I'll text you later.
All right. Later. Episode 1.